Hey guys, so welcome back. This week we're really going to dive in a little bit more to the Tampa housing market as we're coming into, especially here when I'm recording this video, it's springtime heading into the summer. I get a lot of questions from a lot of different people, my clients as well as my viewers, about the Tampa housing market as everybody's starting to prepare for things, right? Kids are getting out of school. Is this the right time to buy? We're in an election year. All of the interest rates, the questions go on and on. So today we're going to be discussing all of that. I'm also going to introduce you to my new teammate, Terrence, and he is really analytical. He's really great with numbers, and he's been with me with clients. He's been hearing all of the questions as well, and he's got his insights to these questions, and I wanted you to hear from him to get a different perspective. Not to mention, he's got his own channel that he's growing, so we'll add a link to that below as well. But let's get started, like I promised.
How's it going?
Here's Terrence. So Terrence is new on my team, like I mentioned, and he's been helping me out a lot. And together, we think we make a pretty good team.
Oh yeah.
Creative, analytical, great combination. So today, we really wanted to sit together and talk to you about the housing market. And Terrence has a lot of information. And so we're just gonna be kind of talking about some of the questions that we've been getting asked. And don't forget to comment below if there's a question that we missed that you really want a little bit more of a deeper dive into. We'd be glad to help you. So one of the first questions that we get all the time, are the housing prices going down anytime soon? So.
That's a great question. And in fact, are housing prices going down? Most likely not. Because right now, a lot of homeowners have a very low mortgage rate. And what that means is they're not going to want to sell if they don't have to pay a lot for their mortgage rate.
True.
So the inventory of houses it's not a lot. It's a really small margin. And when that happens, then there's all these people that are wanting to buy. The demand is up, the inventory is low, prices are most likely going to be going up.
And nobody likes to hear that, but that's just the facts. So you've got all these people that, so we were talking about this in the car. It's like a lot of people are saying, oh, everybody's leaving Florida. Well, if you look at the data, they're not. So that's a problem when it comes to inventory and pricing. So if you've got high demand, you're going to have most of the time, and we've seen this, an increase in those home price values because people are trying to maximize their dollar. Bear with us. We've got lots of wind today. It's a little radical. So the problem is people are trying to wait for the prices to drop. Remember, and we were talking about this also, is that Tampa market in particular, the housing prices were always historically below the national average. So everybody has this idea right now that prices are actually inflated. Some are, yes, but the reality is the values are increasing at a higher rate because of the demand of moving to our area. So yes, and I've discussed this, we've talked about this with some of my clients as well, that there are some homes, we saw a home in a historic uptown, 800 square feet,
Yeah.
no yard, and it was like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was a great area. You're paying for the area in that part of St. Pete, and it was $489, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
$489 for under 800 square feet. Now,
That's ridiculous.
that's what we were
Yeah.
saying to the client. The client was like, "What?" Here's the thing. It's staying on the market. So as you're seeing homes stay on the market longer, it's because they're not priced right. So what's happening is we're trying to, level out the market. And so you are going to start seeing some prices drop, but it's because a lot of the time they are overpriced to begin with. So this is another question I've been getting because we're at the time that we're recording this video, we're in an election year. And so does that mean the housing prices are going to change, go down, go up? And again, yeah, go ahead, Terrence. You have a good way of explaining this.
Since it's an election year, generally speaking, the government is gonna want to keep things nice and steady. So they're not gonna want to stress people out. They want to make sure people feel calm and at ease, and rates don't fluctuate too much.
Yeah. So I think it's like, the feds, the government, they don't want a drastic shift to anything because that can shift the election in a lot of ways,
Exactly.
right? So I think what we're seeing, at least right now as we're recording this, that I don't think we're going to see much change of the market because of the election. Now, we're also talking about this, like maybe come November, who knows? We'll come back to you at that point and tell you what's going on. But I think right now, you know, as far as I'm concerned in the market that we're in and dealing with our clients, we're not really seeing that being a factor. So if that concerns you, that's a whole nother conversation. But I think you just have to keep moving forward. You know, don't let that deter you from making a decision one way or the other. Hey everybody, I just wanted to stop the video really quick and remind you, if you have any real estate related questions or concerns or needs, I'm your girl. I got my buddy over here. Don't forget, I can't help you if you don't reach out to me. All my links are below. You can jump on my calendar for that 30-minute consultation and we can have a conversation. You can talk to me and Terrence. And don't forget, hit the thumbs up, like button. You guys know what to do by now. Thanks so much. Let's get back to the video. So we get this a lot. What's the best time to buy a house? When? I mean, you go first.
I mean, there is no really best time to buy a house because everyone's situation is different. And the best time to buy a house could be different from literally anyone.
From you to me to whatever. Yeah.
So timing the market is not your best case. You want to just be in it. You want to just find something that you love and get that house because it's not going to be on the market for too long.
Right. And we're going to talk more about rates. And we were talking about this as well. My theory is always marry the house, date the rate. Okay. I do get asked a lot about the seasons of when to buy. And so I'll tell you, as far as the Tampa market, what I've seen. Of course, summertime is going to be the time when most families are looking to make some sort of switch because of kids and schooling. So if that is you have to buy during the summer, right? You've got to get the kids out of school. You have to get your finances in order. You've got to make sure your credit score is good. Find a lender. We can talk to us if you need help with that. And don't make any big purchases during that time. And then we can talk about, your plan so that we can get you settled before the kids start school. That happens a lot. But for the most part, I have had busy winters, busy springs, so you can't really time. There's so many things that people try to do. They try to time the market. They try to time the interest rates. They try to time the time of year that's best. When you're ready is when you're ready. So all in all, really the best thing to do is when you're reaching out to me, we talk about a timeline, but that can always adjust. And I find that happens with people because if you got to be ready, because if you find the right house in the right neighborhood at the right time, you got to jump. And a lot of people are not ready to jump and then they lose that opportunity. So you do want to make sure you're prepared. But that's something that we talk about when you're on a call with us. We help you understand that process a little bit better. We do it all day. I think I answered this question, but why are some houses showing a decrease in their price and staying on the market longer? We sort of already addressed this a little bit, but we're going to do a little deeper dive in it. So because of supply and demand. So let's talk about supply and demand. I know you touched upon it, but let's talk about it again.
So with supply and demand,
especially in our market.
In Tampa, there's such little inventory, there's such little supply of houses on the market, and the demand is staying constant, if not increasing. And so what that does is that it increases the prices of homes.
Right, because supply, the more demand, the more people can then ask for a higher price. Exactly. Now, the cool thing is buyers are getting smarter. You guys are getting a lot smarter. So and if you have a good agent, I tell you too, let's price this neighborhood first and let's see if we think it's priced right. But a lot of you are doing your own research and you're getting really smart, and that's the best way. I mean, it's your money, right? You got to know how to use it right. But just because you see a decrease in that price on Zillow or Realtor or whatever you're looking at does not mean that value, that seller has decided on a price and they have decided that's what they want, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that's the value of the home. An appraiser is always going to tell you how much value you have at a house. They kind of dictate that, because if you're going to be getting a loan The appraiser is the one that determines the value based on their certain criteria that they have, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to understand that we're going to do the best we can to help you understand the potential value of a house that you're interested in putting an offer in on. But at the end of the day, if you got a loan situation, we're going to have to wait and see what that appraiser says. And so that's really why I think, like I mentioned earlier, that house in historic Uptown that was 800 square feet, little box, going for almost $500,000, you know, it's gonna sit on the market. I couldn't get that out of my mouth. It's gonna sit on the market because that's a ridiculous rate for that house just to be in a really popular neighborhood. I think before there was a frenzy, you know, people were trying to move to the area, and so people were willing to pay those prices. We're just not seeing that now.
No, we're not. And also another thing is that when you do see an overpriced house or a house that's been sitting on the market for X amount of days, a lot of times sellers are trying to gauge the market and see where their house is valued at or what people are willing to pay.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. So sometimes agents will put it on the market just to see if they can get that high price, because if they go, okay, you know, I'm in a good neighborhood, I'm in a good school district, and I've got all these upgrades. Let's see if I can get top dollar for it. Let's see. Because, hey, there aren't any houses available in my neighborhood, and it's a hot neighborhood. So let's see if I can get top dollar. And sometimes they can.
Oh, yeah.
Because if people want to be in that neighborhood, in that school district, a lot of times they're willing to pay the extra just to be there. So does that kind of what you're talking about?
If the demand is there, then the people are going to pay.
That's what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at data and analytics, I'm going to let Terrence talk to you a little bit about the median prices and that sort of stuff. So take it away.
All right. So the median home sale price right now in Tampa, Florida is $429,000 per home. Now that was a lot less a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot less.
That's why people are mad.
yeah, understandably so.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then, so year after year, it's been about a 11.7% increase year after year for the median sales price.
Wow.
Which is,
that's significant.
So it's increasing the prices of the house, and then the inventory is low and the demand is still high. I mean, we have a positive net inflow of people moving to Tampa, Florida, not moving out.
Right, because we were talking about that. So there was a graph that we saw, and it was talking about the real data of people leaving Florida, and the graph went like very small tick up. And there's like people relocating or moving to Florida, and the graph went huge curve up.
Oh yeah.
So this idea that nobody is moving to Florida or everybody's done with Florida or they're leaving is BS, because we are not seeing that at all.
So a lot of homeowners, current homeowners, have such a low mortgage rate for their house that why would they want to sell it? They're not selling it. They're sitting on it and they're just paying that low interest. So once again, what is that doing?
Demand.
It's constricting the inventory, and the demand is still high.
Right. So nobody's really leaving. So unless there's a life event that is making them leave, why would they want to leave just to go triple their interest rate somewhere else?
It doesn't make sense.
They're going to sit on it. So we have been having an inventory problem for a long time, since COVID. The inventory numbers are going up. Slowly. Yeah. We're in a better position than we were like 3 years ago, but there's still so much demand for our area that we're not seeing. We're still not. I mean, we have so many active clients, because Terrence has been helping me with everybody. We have so many active clients looking for a house. If I need houses for people, it's very hard and disconcerting right now with people, because I can't get them what they want, you know, and everybody's got very specific needs, and I understand that. And we've been trying to educate our clients as well on the fact that there's some things you're going to have to, you know, put to the side. Your must-have list and your can live with list. Your live with list needs to be bigger than your must-have list at this point. Area is an issue. Flood zones are an issue. Interest rates, of course, is on everybody's mind. But people are concerned about things like wanting to be very close to the beach, walking distance from things. We don't have that kind of environment unless you're really like on the water or in a downtown environment. Those areas are super expensive. If that's your jam, great, but that's not the average home buyer. The average home buyer is in that $350 to $450 range. And as Terrence said, our median home price, what was that,
$429.
$429. So as you can see, we have a problem here with people's expectations of what they can get for the amount of money that they're willing to spend. So when you add that factor into the fact that we don't have enough inventory, it causes a lot of heartache and headache for people. So you have to get your expectations in order when it comes to relocating to the area. And again, we jump on a call with you and we help you with that as well, helping determine the best area for you. And again, you know, those amenities and the things that you really desire, letting you know the reality of what you can and can't get so we can set those expectations.
Exactly.
We left rates for the last part because, like I mentioned in the beginning, you marry the house and you date the rate. Wouldn't you say that, you know, we've been discussing this as well, and most of our buyers right now, they've already obviously gotten pre-approved, so they know their interest rate and it doesn't concern them because we've been educating people on the fact that you can refinance later. If they start to drop the rates, you can refinance and get a better rate. It's better to get the house of your dreams, is what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
House of your dreams, than waiting for the rates to drop. And what are the feds saying? Let's talk about, again, some statistics and data on the rates and all that you and I were discussing.
So, like, to put in perspective, the rates right now are actually in the historic lows. And
People forget that.
yeah, I mean, like, you see all over around, like, rates are so high, astronomical high, and prices are expensive. Yada,
Yes,
yada.
all the negative news.
All the negative. But to put in perspective, in like the 1980s, the rate was actually in the 18%.
I was shocked when I saw that.
And now people are freaking out because it's like around the sevens. It's fluctuating. So it's actually not as bad as it has been in the past.
And I think people got spoiled, right? Listen, I'm one of those people. I'll be honest with you. I bought in 2018 and I have a 4.25% interest rate. I'm not moving, right? I'm staying put. I'm keeping that rate. I'm not sure we're ever going to see that low of a rate again. All of the indicators are saying we might see interest rates drop a little bit, but they're probably never going to go below 5 again. I think things were changing according to what was going on at the time. You know, we cannot expect to have 2%, 3%, 4% probably again for a long time.
If ever.
So don't sit around thinking you're going to get that interest rate ever again. Again, marry the house, date the rate, right?
Exactly.
So I think we've covered a good amount of questions. Again, you guys, leave your comments below if there's some other questions you'd like to know about the Tampa housing market. We're here to help you. Our links are below. I'm going to put his channel up there too. Let's give him some love as he's building his channel. I've been keeping him pretty busy though. So eventually I've got to let him do his due on his channel. Sorry, there is a bug about to crawl on the lens camera. Oh my God, we are out in nature today. So again, hope this video was helpful to you guys. And again, thanks for coming around.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terrence, for hanging with me and helping me out. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks so much for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye.